Hey guys, how's it going? Junkzilla here. We had a pretty big community sale this Saturday, so very eventful day today. You're going to see a few of those sales as well as all the comps that me and my dad got today. Very eventful day today, as well as a fun story throughout. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.
All right, so we started at this first sale here. This is actually at First Lady's Farm and Sanctuary. They're a cat rescue around us. Very nice place here, and all the cats they had roaming around were very sweet. So I start up. We already walked up here. I skipped past that because I pretty much walked all the way through. So starting off here, first thing I see coming up is this pan that I think might be worth something. A lot of the time, certain brands of pots and pans can be very good. I am a little clumsy here. I end up dropping it. Don't worry, I don't break anything. Ends up not being what I thought it was, so I end up putting it back. I walk over to this treadmill and rowing machine to see if they're any good. Check those out. They end up not being quite what I thought they were. And so then my dad points out this bike rack. Usually bike racks, if you can get them for 15 bucks or less, that's a great find there. You can usually sell them for around 60 bucks, no matter the brand. Some brands are much better. You can get couple hundred out of them. But even the cheaper ones, you can still get about 60 bucks out of them. I think they wanted $10 or $15 for that one, so we end up snagging that up. I then make my way over to the exercise machines to see if they're any good. Nordic Track is a pretty good brand for exercise machines, but rowing machines tend not to resell very well for whatever reason. So I looked those up, and it wasn't quite worth it. And then we end up walking back on up a ways here. I look at a couple of those VHS tapes. Some VHS tapes can be okay. Usually they have to be sealed or select tapes. I noticed those board games a little too late. That lady is already looking at them, and I don't want to snag anything out from underneath her. A couple of those, since they were older board games, probably would have been okay because I think they ended up getting like $1 a piece for all of them, which is pretty good. We see those drums there. My dad ends up snagging those up. That was a really cool find because they were actually handmade drums. You can tell by the way that the skin was put on the drum itself. So really cool find there. I don't know if he's actually going to do too great on those since they are handmade. It's hard to find comps on those, but he got them both for 10 bucks, I want to say, so he should do fairly well on them. So we keep on walking up here. I just keep an eye out for anything that I think might be good. I end up seeing this replica phone from across the tables. It's a replica vintage phone of a St. Louis, Spirit of St. Louis replica phone. Really cool find here. It's like an old replica dial phone. It doesn't actually dial, it just has buttons, but really cool there. So I end up checking that out real quick. Looks like they resell for around 50 bucks. I make sure it has all the pieces and everything to it, and then I make my way up. So this was actually a really slow day. This sale was from last week. We only found 2 yard sales last week because it was a holiday weekend, but we still did fairly well at this one. All right, and then this is from the community sale that we went to this past weekend. So as soon as we get out, my dad notices this big Santa blow up mold. I apologize. Those are fantastic as well, as long as you can find them for cheap. This guy wants $5 for it. It's the first thing my dad asks about when he gets up there. Doesn't even give me and his buddy Mark a chance. But fantastic find there. It looks like that one in particular will resell for around 120 bucks. So if you can ever find the big blow up mold Santas, as long as they're bigger and for cheap, great, always pick them up. My dad ends up pointing out this little RC car to me. I do some research on it. Turns out it's only worth like 10 bucks. It's one of the cheaper ones, but still worth checking out. And then we end up seeing this doll behind the RC car. We check it out for a minute. We are not well versed in foreign things like this, so we don't know anything about it. The guy tells us a little bit about it. I don't think he knows much about it either. There are obviously couponers at this yard sale, and we have been here a few times before. I recognize the house and I recognize the couponing aspect of it. So we ask him a little bit about it. He's not too sure about it either, and we end up leaving it alone. But still, pretty cool to see there, especially in the glass case and with the writing and all that cool stuff. Mark actually finds a little attachment there, as well as my dad finds a little Ryobi attachment there. That piece, he gets it for $5. It ends up being worth like $60. Great find there. These people, whenever we come to their sale, they always cut us great deals. You know, they don't have sales every weekend like a lot of the couponers do, but we usually find some good items while we're at this guy's sale in particular. And this was one of those weeks as well. That Santa Claus blow up was a big find this week. So we pull up right onto the next sale here. These people are in the process of like clearing out a storage unit or something like that. My dad and Mark notice this pedal plane for like a kid that actually lights up and has lights and the rotary moves and everything like that. It's a really cool find there. My dad was really tempted to purchase this. They wanted $50 for it. He's trying to play things a little smarter with his buys now, trying not to take nearly as many chances. But this was really cool just to see. You know, the lights come on, the lights flash, the rotary moves. It was a really cool find, and I could tell my dad was really tempted. And behind Mark over here, there is this little calf and foot massager. While they're playing with the little plane, I asked them how much they want for that. They end up wanting $10. That particular model will resale for around $100. You can see it over there in the corner, and you'll see it later in the comps as well. So I asked them how much they want for that. They say they'll do $10. And then I see the little airline crate off to the side. They don't have change, so she asked me if I want anything else. And I said, the airline crate is probably, I'd probably be interested in as well. And so she gives me them both for $20. And so we head on back up to the car. And then right as we get to the car, they pull a couple more things out. They pull out this airline equipment that Mark snags up right away. And they pull out these projectors, which I start talking to the guy about. And this was one of those sales that they really just wanted to get rid of their stuff. You know, their son had put a lot of money into that plane. That's the only reason that they were kind of high on that. And even then, they weren't too high on that. You know, that would have been a hard one to store and sell. We probably would have been sitting on it for a while. But so we talked to them about the airline stuff. Mark ends up getting it all for $10. Phenomenal find there. And then I start talking to them about the projectors. He originally says he wants $25 a piece for both of them. I start doing a little bit of research on them, try to figure out what I could get out of them. One of them seems to sell much better than the other. It looks like one will sell for around $90, and the other one doesn't have a resale history. So, you know, I start thinking about what I could possibly pay for them. And while I'm sitting there thinking, the guy starts talking himself down, as some people do sometimes. So he ends up talking himself down to $20 for both of them. He originally wanted $25 a piece. And while I was sitting there thinking about it, he ends up going, how about $20 for both of them? I just want to get rid of them. And so I say deal, of course, because one of them is worth about $90. The other one, even though it doesn't have history or comp history on it, you know, I'm still willing to make that purchase just as an incentive to get both of them out of his hair. And they end up giving me these bulb replacements for him as well, the power cords, all that good stuff. So that was a pretty good find here, as well as Mark getting all that airline equipment. That was a fantastic find there. I wish I had the comps in this video for that. I apologize for that, but you'll have to take my word on it that it was a good one. So moving right on to the next sale here, but before we do, quick story time.
So before we jump into the next sale here, a bit of a story time for you guys. So we pull up to this next sale. Keep in mind when we just get there, it is just me, my dad, and Mark at the sale. So we get there, we start looking at a couple different items, each of us. I noticed this Kirby vacuum cleaner, and I know that Kirby is a pretty good brand for vacuum cleaners. So I start doing a little bit of research on it, figure out what it's worth. I'll put the comp on screen here to show you the vacuum cleaner itself. They have a good sell history. And then I'm just checking over the vacuum. At this point, I'm touching the bag on the vacuum cleaner. And then I overhear a guy who has just gotten to the sale ask the lady at the sale, what do you want for the Kirby vacuum cleaner? Keep in mind, I'm actively touching it at this point. You know, if it was any other item, I would have it in my hand, carrying it around. But you know, with a vacuum cleaner, that's kind of difficult to do. But you know, I'm making it very apparent that I'm interested in the item. So I overhear him and the lady goes, "Oh, you can just have it for free." And I overhear that and I go, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at this. If you would be willing to do that deal, I mean, I would love to do that. Just because I've been looking at this for a few minutes." And he goes, "Dude, you were on your phone." And I didn't say this, but in my head I was like, can't go on my phone. I have to be actively expressing interest in the item the whole time. And when I was on my phone, he was still walking up to the sale. You know, he wasn't at the sale. He wasn't asking the lady about it. It's not like I was across the sale on my phone. I was standing in front of it, touching the item, looking something up on my phone. And so he goes, "Dude, you were on your phone." And I was like, I was just looking something up about the vacuum cleaner. You know, I've been here for a few minutes looking at it. And the lady goes, "I'm sorry, he asked me first." And then I'm very flustered at this point, and my dad and Mark can both see that. I feel like they both got a little flustered at this point as well. So I just go, "Whatever, man, all yours." And we carry on about our day. But this is just a lesson for you guys. Make sure when you get to a sale, as soon as you notice there is something that you're interested in, ask how much they want for it. So that way you are the person who asked first. I didn't think that someone would try to snake something out from under me like that at a sale. At least it's never happened to me before. You know, I've never had someone try to, I know that some people will do that, but it's never happened to me personally. And, you know, it's not like I had walked away from the item. I was making it very apparent that I was interested in the vacuum cleaner. So just make sure that you guys are actively asking about items as soon as you have interest in them. Because not only was this guy not very friendly about it, but the lady at this who was running the sale was also no help herself. You know, I had been there for longer. I was looking at it, and then this guy goes up and buys it right out from underneath me. So just make sure that you guys are actively asking about items as soon as you're interested in them. But that's been this story time. Make sure that you guys are, you know, staying vigilant. On to the next sale.
So we pull up to this sale here. I noticed these McDonald's Animal Kingdom glasses first. She wants $3 a piece for them, and at that, it just doesn't feel worth it to me to buy those. And then, what do you know? I find another St. Louis replica dial phone. I had never seen one. Isn't this funny how this happens? I had never seen one of these before, and I see two in consecutive weeks. So I end up purchasing this one for $5. And the guy says it works perfectly fine. Of course, nowadays it's hard to test them because, you know, nobody uses home phones anymore. But I take his word for it. I'm sure there's also another way I could test it. While I'm looking at this, Mark actually finds some crystalware worth some money, which me and my dad had never found any crystalware before, but he finds this set for a couple bucks, and they end up being worth about 50.
All right, so comps today, we have the Spirit of St. Louis antique replica phone in good working condition. Got this for $10. It looks like it'll resell for about 50. Picked up this Ninja blender with a lot of attachments. Doesn't look like it's been used. Picked this up for $40. Looks like unused. They will sell for around 90. Then we got this Saris bike rack. Picked this up for $20. Looks like it'll sell for about 60. An Art Deco cocktail mixer chrome. Looks like this will sell for about 40. It varies on the design and condition though. Got this miniature Viking boat, which is pretty cool. And then these handmade hand drums. This one has a small tear in it, but still cool find. And then last but not least, we picked up this Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions game. Case is in a little bit of rough condition, but it looks like this will resell between 60 to 80 bucks. Picked this up for $1. Actually, it was just included with the console and other games that my dad bought, but this was the big find out of it. So pretty good find there. And then this is a find from the past week. with this Landa pressure washer. It uses propane to heat the water and then electricity to fire the pump. Found this for 200 bucks. It looks like it'll resell for upwards of $1,500. But this is one of the things that I was talking about, that we're not afraid to buy big items as long as the profit margin is there. It's sitting on the forklift here. All right, jumping right into the comps here, we have this HD Pro Wide Multiverse projector. Looks like this will resell around 80 bucks. We have this Sanyo Pro Extra X Multiverse projector. Looks like this one is cheaper than that, probably somewhere around 30. And then we have a couple of replacement bulbs. Looks like these will run anywhere between like 10 to 30 bucks. These ones, since they're old, they're probably around 10 to 15. All right, and then we also have this hand-blown Santa mold decoration that my dad picked up for 5 bucks. This is a really good find. If you can ever find these big ones that are hand-blown molds, those are really good. And then I also got this airline crate for 10 bucks. If you can pick up any larger or medium-sized dog crates for like 20 bucks or cheaper, always pick them up. Great find there. And then we have this Stihl MS391 chainsaw that my dad picked up for 100 bucks. And then we have this Burnwood New Haven clock here that my dad found at a sale for a couple bucks. Really cool find here. Not sure the comp on this. If I'm able to find it, I'll show it up on screen here. This is a really cool, unique find. Just a clock. It was made in Germany. Pretty cool find here. And then found this Homedics foot and calf massager here for 10 bucks. Looks like this will resell for around 100 bucks.
All right, and then we have this LGB, the big train, complete in the box, and then this LGB Lake George boulder.
And we also found this Nova 2000 sandblasting helmet and suit. Picked this up for 20 bucks. And it looks like it will go anywhere between like $200 to $400. So great find there. And we also picked up these Harley Davidson Road King side bags. Picked these up for 5 bucks. Looks like they'll sell for around 50. And the last but not least, we picked up this patio doggy door. These are always a good find if you can pick them up for less than 20 bucks. They'll usually sell for around 60 bucks. So great find here. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. There are a few comps in the video that the picture accurately represents the comp rather than my voice. I had a couple of the comps wrong when I was going over them, but the picture is what's right, not what I said. But thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.